The war had ended 2 weeks ago, though no one on either side felt like victors. The Federation soldiers, including me, had spent months clawing through the ruins of the Zavari Empire, a race once so proud. Their crystalline cities had shimmered across 3 suns. Now, all that shimmer had turned to ash. We'd won, yes. But it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like desecration. I was a lieutenant in the 9th Human Expeditionary Division, stationed on the planet Vurek 9, a place once called the Garden of Winds by the Zavari. Now the wind carried only smoke and the faint scent of burnt ozone. When the higher-ups decided to reward soldiers with tokens of gratitude from the conquered worlds, I thought it was a cruel joke. Weapons, artifacts, sometimes even slaves. When my reward arrived, she was brought in by 2 armored guards. Small, frail, covered in a ragged wrap that might have once been ceremonial cloth. Her skin shimmered faintly in shades of violet and silver, her hair pale and iridescent like glass spun from moonlight. Her large eyes, reflective, trembling, locked on me in pure, silent terror. She's a Zavari, captured from one of the surviving nests, one of the guards said, as if delivering a crate of supplies. Orders say she's yours. A token of appreciation for your service. I felt disgust twist in my gut. I didn't want a gift. I didn't want her. But before I could object, the guards left. The door sealed shut with a hiss. And then it was just me and her. She stood in the corner, shaking, her chest rising and falling rapidly. I could see the faint shimmer of sweat on her temples, the way her hands were clutching her own arms as if expecting pain. "Hey," I said softly, keeping my distance. "You're safe here." Her eyes darted up, wide and unblinking. She made a soft sound, almost like a hiss, but weak, terrified. Her language was musical and sharp, but I didn't need a translator to know what it meant. She thought I was going to hurt her. Or worse. I sat down on the edge of my bunk, lowering my weapon to the floor. Slowly, I opened a ration pack and pushed it toward her. She didn't move, just stared, trembling. "You can eat," I said. I'm not going to harm you." Her voice came at last, quiet and fractured. "Humans eat. Zavari." My heart stopped. "What?" I said, thinking I'd misheard. Her trembling worsened. "They said humans eat the flesh of stars. The flesh of us." I realized then, to her, I was a monster from a war story. A devourer. And I couldn't even blame her for believing it. The fear between us. Over the next few days, I kept my distance. I gave her space, left food near the door, never touched her or tried to restrain her. Slowly, the trembling lessened. I learned her name from the translator I requisitioned. Lyra. She was young, maybe 20 by human standards. From what little she told me, she had once been a songkeeper, a kind of historian among the Zavari, trained to remember her people's stories through melody. Her wings, once a symbol of pride among her kind, had been burned away during the siege. She never told me who had done it, but I didn't need to ask. One night, I woke to a sound, soft humming. Not mechanical, not threatening. Just a melody, low and sorrowful. Lyra was sitting by the window slit, singing to the stars. The translator couldn't parse the words, but the emotion was clear. Longing, grief, and something so ancient it felt sacred. When she noticed me awake, she froze. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "You sleep. I forget myself." "No," I said quietly. "Please keep singing." She hesitated, then continued. Her voice filled the room like light through smoke. For the first time since the war began, I felt peace. After that night, we began to talk. Slowly, hesitantly. She asked questions, endless ones. About Earth, about why humans fought, about what it felt like to see a sunrise on a blue sky. And once she asked, "Why did you take me?" I swallowed hard. "I didn't. They gave you to me." "Then why keep me?" she asked, voice shaking. I thought about that. I'd had chances to send her away, to the refugee camps or the trade stations. But something inside me couldn't do it. "Because I wanted to make sure you weren't hurt again," I said honestly. "Because you deserve better than this war." Her eyes softened, and for the first time, she didn't look afraid. Weeks passed. We began sharing meals. I found her fascination with human food adorable. She'd tilt her head, sniffing curiously before tasting anything. She especially loved sweet things. Once, when I handed her a ration bar flavored like chocolate, she took a small bite and froze. Her eyes widened, her lips parted slightly, and she let out a soft gasp. "Is it poison?" I asked, alarmed. She shook her head slowly. "It tastes like laughter." I laughed then, for the first time in months. That's one way to describe chocolate. Her mouth curved into a shy smile. "Then I like laughter." Moments like that chipped away at the wall between us. But the world outside didn't change. The Federation saw the Zavari as spoils, not survivors. Rumors spread among the barracks. Some soldiers sneered when they saw her near me. "Careful, Lieutenant," one of them said once, grinning. "They say those aliens have toxins in their kiss." I ignored him, but Lyra heard. Her shoulders hunched, her wings, or what was left of them, trembling faintly. That night she didn't eat. Instead, she whispered, "You defend me when they mock." "Why?" I sighed. "Because it's wrong." "No," she said, staring at me with those luminous eyes. "Because you care?" The question hit me harder than I expected. I didn't answer right away. "I don't know," I said finally. "Maybe I do." Middle, the truth of her fear. The peace didn't last. Orders came down. All non-combatant assets were to be transferred to a new holding facility on the moon base orbiting Vurek 9. Lyra would be taken with the others. When I told her, she went silent. Then, without warning, she dropped to her knees. "Please," she whispered, voice cracking, "don't send me there." I knelt beside her. "Lyra, they'll take care of you there." "No," she cried, tears welling up. "You don't understand. They experiment. They break our minds." My blood went cold. I'd heard rumors, but never believed them. She looked up at me then, her eyes shimmering like fractured glass. "If you send me, I will die. Please." I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I'd made my decision. I packed what little I could, supplies, water, 2 pulse rifles, and when the alarms were low, I took her hand. "Come on," I whispered. "We're leaving." Her eyes widened. "You'd betray your people?" I looked at her. "No. I'm protecting someone who never deserved to be their prisoner." She hesitated only a moment, then nodded. We escaped through the service tunnels beneath the outpost, the air thick with the hum of energy shields. I'd memorized the patrol routes. Years of habit paid off. When we reached the hangar, I hijacked a small courier ship. It wasn't built for long-range flight, but it would get us off-world. As we lifted off, alarms blared across the compound. I could see flashes of gunfire in the rear sensors. Lyra clung to the seat, trembling, not from fear, but from disbelief. "You risk everything," she whispered. "For me?" I glanced at her, breath tight. "You said once I cared. Maybe you were right." Her eyes glistened. "Then, I am no longer afraid." Ending, the stars between us. We fled into deep space. For days, we drifted between asteroid fields and derelict sectors, avoiding patrols. I managed to jury-rig a cloaking signal from the ship's damaged communications array. In the quiet of that stolen ship, time blurred. Lyra began to heal, not just her body, but her spirit. She laughed more. She sang again, though softly. I'd sit beside her at the viewport, watching her reflection as she hummed to the stars. Once, she caught me staring. "You watch me often," she said, teasingly. "Why?" "Because," I said, smiling faintly, "it reminds me that there's still beauty left in the galaxy." She blushed, faint streaks of silver glowing along her cheeks. "Humans use words like weapons," she said softly. "Yours do not wound." I laughed quietly. Guess I'm learning. But peace, as always, didn't last. Our stolen ship's energy reserves were depleting fast. I knew we couldn't keep running forever. Then one morning, or whatever passed for morning in the endless dark, Lyra came to me, holding a small crystal. "This," she said, "is a memory shard. It holds the coordinates of my people's last refuge." Her voice trembled, "But I can only activate it once. When I do, they will know I live and where I am." I understood what she was saying. If we went there, the Federation could track us. But if we didn't, she'd have nowhere to go. I took her hand. "Do it." The crystal glowed, faint at first, then brighter, casting ripples of light across the cabin. The coordinates projected in the air, a nebula cluster beyond human patrol zones. Hours later, the stars around us shifted into brilliant hues of red and blue as we entered the veiled expanse, the last sanctuary of the Zavari. The moment we exited hyperspace, the scanners lit up. Dozens of signatures surrounded us. Weapons locked on. A voice crackled through the comms, soft but commanding. "Human vessel, identify yourself." I opened the channel. "I'm not your enemy. I'm bringing one of your own home." Silence. Then the voice returned, softer now. "You lie. Humans destroyed our worlds." Before I could respond, Lyra stepped forward and pressed her palm to the comm panel. "This human saved me," she said. "He did not devour me. He showed me mercy." The silence that followed stretched for what felt like an eternity. Then, the ships around us powered down their weapons. A path opened through the fleet, glowing like a corridor of stars. As we descended toward a world of light and mist, Lyra turned to me. "You could stay," she whispered. "They will not harm you. You are forgiven." I smiled faintly. "I don't think your people are ready for that yet." Her hand lingered on mine. "And if I asked you to stay?" That stopped me. I looked at her, really looked, and saw not fear, not pity, but something pure and fragile blooming between us. "I'd want to," I said honestly. "More than anything." She smiled, tears glimmering in her eyes. "Then someday, when the stars forget this war, maybe we'll meet again." I helped her step out onto her world, bathed in the soft glow of alien dawn. She turned once, her iridescent hair catching the light, and said, "You are not the monster they told us about." And then she was gone. I stood at the edge of the ramp, staring after her as the wind carried the faint echo of her song. It sounded like peace.